Hi, I just unboxed this VC03 reissue on the European card. It's Han Solo Echo Base. I just picked this up. I talked to Only One Kenobi just before I bought this, sort of saying I was thinking about getting this because it's the European carded reissue rather than the North American US Canadian reissue. Which I think came out 2018, 2019, really. Let me see what it says. Well, probably more like 2019 than 2018, even though it says that they're 2018. I mean, I've got the original VC03 with the foil card, but it's not in the best of conditions. But yeah, so, and this one's got the new face paint to it, or face tech. So I did a search on eBay for the VC03 reissue, and most of the cards that I found were the US cards. I couldn't find another European card, so that sort of sent sparks in my brain, and I'm thinking, some of these European issue cards are kind of tough. There's a few sellers on eBay that just... when they ever have a European card, Kenner Collectibles, something like that, they always talk about European cards. Obviously, the Dr. Aphra is probably the most famous. But then Only One Kenobi was talking about the Cassian Andor on the European card. And, so that sort of... And look at the grade, 95. This was only £10 more than the one I was looking at first, so I thought I'd grab this one instead. And yeah, so I grabbed it. So it's got the new paint on the face. Comes with a blaster, mask, welding tool. Han dressed as he was on the Echo Base. European card. Graded 95, all subs are 95. The Empire Strikes Back Han Solo Echo Base. So I think if you went on eBay and looked for a Han reissue, this one's going to be a hard card to find. But then again, I could be talking about out of my jacksie, really, because I'm just assuming that this European card is kind of tough. I mean, the yak face on the European cards are very common. Katu Skiff, I'm sure he's on the European card. And then there's the Luke Endor capture. I never got that one reissued. Princess Leia. So these are the ones they reissued. So this is a reissue line, apart from these two. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you've got to take the plunge and go for it and assume that this European card is kind of tougher to find than the US reissue. And obviously with the grade and all that sort of stuff, a high grade, it's going to be a hard one. It's not easy to get 95. I think it's easier to get 95 with UKG than obviously with AFA. Well, it's quite a nice looking figure. Nice picture of Han there. Yeah, so I'm glad I did pull the trigger. And I mean, for a graded figure, this wasn't too bad. It was about, I think with postage, certainly less than 80. So I definitely thought, why not, as it was just after Christmas. But when you're bored, you go on eBay and you sort of tend to... But I do believe this probably is kind of a tough card to find, the European reissue. You're probably most likely going to find the North American card. Looks pretty cool though. And you can get this in the foil card, you can get this on the Canadian card. That's the original 2010 issue. I mean, if you want to see all the variants of this, go to Only One Kenobi. He's got quite a good collection of Han Solo Echo Base. So the Canadian, US foil, European card as well. I think the European would just have a small sticker on the back rather than that big black sticker that they went to. So yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, time to stop waffling. That's Han Solo Echo Base, graded 95 on the European reissue card. And so the risk I'm taking is that I'm proposing that this card is kind of tough to find. So I think you'll find more the US version without all this European, language there. But quite nice. VC03. But this character is not going to have the appeal like Dr. Aphra has, That's a cool piece to get. I mean, the Chewbacca on the European card, the Cassian Andor now is Only One Kenobi he's talking about. A few others, yeah. So, yeah, I prefer these cards. I mean, post 2018, I like these cards more than the US cards. I mean, this is just before they start to move towards the single card that we have now. So this is when we still had slightly different cards, so pretty cool. These ones have the bigger warning leaflet there. But I think it displays really well, looks great. Graded 95. Even AFG would accept that grade. Anyway, cheers, goodbye.